Hello everybody, this is part 3 of my monitoring is code series of videos. In total we have 3 videos, this is the last one, the third one. Quick recap for those who didn't watch part 1. So we are deploying 3 virtual machines into Akamai cloud, then install Zabbix application as a database in one virtual machine, Zabbix server itself the second virtual machine, and Zabbix Web UI, the third virtual machine. All of that is done by Ansible. In part 1, we used Ansible to deploy 3 virtual machines into Akamai Cloud. So we have Zabbix-DB01, Zabbix Server 01, Zabbix Web 01. In part 2, we deployed Zabbix as 3 components to 3 virtual machines. We installed PostgreSQL database and Zabbix database on top of that into Zabbix DB01, Zabbix server itself into Zabbix server 01, and Apache and Zabbix Web UI into Zabbix Web 01. In this part 3, we are going actually to add those virtual machines with some additional applications monitoring to Zabbix. So at the end, we should have in Zabbix 3 servers monitored by Zabbix with assigned templates. Okay, let's start. Couple of words about my environment. I use screen utility to switch between different screens in my terminal. Here you see screen numbers. Screen 0 I use to run playbooks. So far we have just 2. Create or update that creates virtual machines and configures them according to my Ansible inventory. If we delete one VM from our Ansible inventory, this playbook will delete this VM in cloud, so it actually keeps cloud VMs up to date according to what we have in our Ansible inventory. Destroy infra playbook just destroys everything, all VMs in the cloud, and just to clean up everything unconditionally. In screen 0, we have our inventory called demo. Here in all these files, we have definitions of what hosts, what servers we have in our Ansible inventory and all variables for them. We have 3 virtual machines, 3 servers belonging to different groups. 3 groups: databases, app servers, front ends. In screen 2, we have roles. Actually playbooks. We are going to edit playbooks here. In screen 3, we have roles. These roles are third-party roles we use to install Apache, PHP, Postgres. And here is our roles: cleanup, infra create, infra destroy. Requirements file, we need this to basically refer to these public roles, third-party roles. Okay, let's proceed with our playbooks. Create or update playbook. We finished by installing Zabbix agent. We didn't provide any variables to this role, community Zabbix agent role. Let's make sure we install Zabbix agent 2, not legacy Zabbix agent, and we need to specify IP address of our Zabbix server so agent can respond to our server properly. Let's do it in our inventory in global variables because it applies to all Zabbix agents running in this environment. So group vars all And what we have here, we need to specify Zabbix. True. And Zabbix server. And if you recall, we collected this variable, this IP in our variable Zabbix server IP. That was done in part 1. That's it for now, I guess. Also, we'll be talking to Zabbix API. We need to provide Zabbix username and password. Let's create those variables. We are using default ones for this demo. Also, for communication with Zabbix server, using our community Zabbix modules, we need to provide some special variables to specify, to define type of connection and variables for this connection. This collection uses HTTP API transport to connect to Zabbix server. And these are special variables. And we are going to use our password. I think for now, this is all we need to connect to Zabbix server and to deploy Zabbix agent. Now, I guess we need to add one more role to our playbook. Yeah, we are going to add all the hosts to Zabbix server. Again, hosts all. We want to add all hosts from our Ansible inventory. Gather facts. We don't need facts from these servers because we are going to talk to Zabbix server anyway. Tasks. And Ansible built in include role. And let's name our role, monitoring. Oops, that belongs to here. Looks okay. Let's go to our roles. We need to create this role. Monitoring tasks. Oops. It's not O, it's P. And let's create main task for this role. Here, what do we want to have here? First of all, we are going to talk to Zabbix server, so all the tasks will be executed on Zabbix server. So we have to delegate to Zabbix web IP. API is available using web UI. Well, web UI address, web UI IP. Then we need to specify some special variables for this connection to succeed. This is just prerequisites for to use community Zabbix collection. HTTP API. And we are switching from our root user we used for all the configuration tasks to Ansible, to Zabbix user. Now we are going to execute several tasks, so let's do it in block, which is very convenient. First of all, we need to create host groups, because every host in Zabbix has to belong to at least one host group. So we are going to name these host groups according to our inventory. Remember, we have three groups: databases, servers, front ends. How do we do that? First of all, we need to run it only once, not for every host in our inventory. So run once, true, and then actually we need to collect first. Create a list of all these groups. Again, run once, true, and set fact. Let's collect it in variable x_host groups. And here we use pure Ansible construction. We are going to iterate through all groups. Groups is internal Ansible variable that represents all the host groups from our inventory. We need to convert it to an array. Then host groups, we can basically, first of all, it's empty. We have to initialize it for the first iteration with empty list. And then we need to add one element. When we are looping through groups, the keys will be group names. So we pick only group name from there. And we actually need to skip two special Ansible groups. We don't need to create them in Zabbix. This is group all. We don't need it in Zabbix. And group named ungrouped. Yeah, this should do this trick. Now, in variable host x_host groups, we have all the groups we want to create in Zabbix. Let's do that. We use Zabbix collection module Zabbix group for that. and just specify groups we want to create. That should be a list we constructed in previous step. X host groups. Now we want to add hosts. I guess we have all information we need for that. So let's add hosts. We actually will be using this playbook to add and update hosts. So let's name it add update hosts. Again, we are using Zabbix host module from Zabbix collection. Host name. That's actually our inventory host name, special Zabbix, special Ansible variable that equals to current host this playbook is running on. Host groups. We want this host to belong to group names. And we want all the group names is again special variable that tells to which groups current host we are running on belongs to. And we want to add this host, actually all the hosts, to Linux servers, actually capital L. Linux servers host group in Zabbix. Link templates. For now, let's keep it simple. Let's link only to Linux by Zabbix agent. This template comes by default with Zabbix installation. We have to specify interfaces because we want to connect to agents running on those servers. Agent main 1 user IP 1 and IP. This is actually our Ansible host, special Ansible variable that has an IP of current host we are running playbook on. And state, of course, we want this host to be present, to be created or updated. That's it. We can try running playbook to see whether all these hosts are added. Ansible playbook inventory demo create or update playbook. This is our Linode cloud. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's been provisioned. While it's being provisioned, I will make a note that we are using community Zabbix collection that lets you work with lots of Zabbix components. You see actions, auto registration, discovery, groups, hosts, proxies, etc., etc. All these modules available for you to use by Ansible to talk to Zabbix to create or update all these objects. This is source code of this collection. I am one of maintainers of this collection, so you're more than welcome to join. It's actively supported and being developed. Okay, failed for some reason. Typo, use AP. Let's rerun it again. Admin, Zabbix. Nice. That means we install database, Zabbix server, and web UI properly. Zabbix version 6.4.10. Let's see what we have in hosts. And we have 3 our hosts from Ansible inventory added to Zabbix with default, as we specified, template Linux by Zabbix agent. This guy is coming with Zabbix installation. We'll take care of it later. Important thing for now is we added 3 hosts from our Ansible inventory to Zabbix server. Let's have some fun and add more templates. For example, on Zabbix Web 01, we can monitor Apache. For sure, Zabbix Server 01, we need to monitor Zabbix Health. Zabbix DB 01, we need to monitor Postgres. Where do we do it? Here, templates. For now, we specified only one template. This is not right. Let's make it right. We want some custom variable that would hold all our templates. And let's keep this one. Now we have to define templates for every host. Apparently, as I mentioned, we have different templates requirements for different hosts. Let's define that in inventory. First of all, in our all variables for all the hosts, we need to, just to avoid conflicts, say that by default it's empty. And then we need to specify this variable for different, let's put it on groups. Yeah, on group vars. Databases. We need that to be monitored by Postgres. This is the template that comes with Zabbix installation. So let's just use it. For front ends, we want to monitor Apache, right? So Apache by Zabbix agent. Again, this template comes with Zabbix installation. This template talks to Apache requesting special page called status. To enable, to let Apache to answer to these requests, we need to enable 2 mods. This is pure Apache configuration. a write, first of all. Oops. And the second one, status. Actually provides all these metrics from Apache. What else? For Zabbix DB01 host, yeah, let's define it on that level. Split host vars, Zabbix DB. Oh, sorry, here. We need to create new user for monitoring. Let's create this user. And just, I don't know, anyway, it's demo. We pick this password. And we need to include special plugin, Agent 2 plugin. This is Zabbix Agent 2 T plugins T. So it reads all the plugins that configurations of what is put in this folder. And let's say for Zabbix app 01, server 01, sorry. We want X templates. Zabbix server health. This comes with Zabbix installation as well. Postgres monitoring is rather complex. Let's create a separate task that would configure Postgres monitoring. Split tasks. It's monitoring role. Postgres YAML. What do we need here? We need to first of all install Postgres plugin. It comes with a separate package. Now we need to add special macros to this host. So plugin works correctly. We'll be talking to Zabbix API, so we have to again define this. Let's copy paste. To avoid typing. Then we are using, oops, again our collection and Zabbix host macro module. to which host. This is our current host, inventory host name, and symbol special variable, macro name. We'll install several macros. We'll configure several macros, so it's going to be name, item name, and macro value, item value. And what we actually want to configure, what macros is with items, name of macro. Actually, it's user macro pg constring, and value for this macro will be TCP localhost. The next macro will be pg password, of course. And if you remember, we specified password here in inventory as Zabbix monitor pass. Let's copy paste. And of course, we have to talk to Zabbix web UI. And yeah, we need to restart Zabbix agent if plugin was just installed. Oops. Only when the plugin was just installed. On consecutive runs, we don't need to restart anything. We refer to this variable plugin installed. And now we need to add this task to our main playbook. We do it following this way. We do it this way. Actually, here. Tasks from, and we need to do that only on databases group. Gather facts. We don't need facts. Seems to be okay. Let's try to run our playbook. Oops, task is not found. Why? Okay, of course, Postgres typo. Let's rerun it. This is on row level, I think. Delegate 2, of course. Rerunning playbook. Sorry for these typos, but this is the way it works. Usually you don't get everything up and running from the first run. Okay, finally our playbook finished successfully. Let's go to Zabbix server, check what changed here. Beautiful, you see DB01 has additional template Postgres by Zabbix agent 2. Server01 has additional template server Zabbix server health. And Web01 has Apache by Zabbix agent template assigned as well. Cool, but all of us who manage Zabbix daily know that we have a lot of custom templates created by us. So they're not coming with Zabbix installation out of the box. So we need to be able to import those templates and assign to hosts as well. Let's take care of that. I created a very simple template. Let's call it, first of all, make dir monitoring role, files folder. We're gonna keep our custom templates there. Monitoring files. Let's name it, I don't know, my cool template. JSON. You can create XML, JSON. I prefer JSON. And this is my very simple template that has only one item. We basically check availability of TCP port 10.0.50, where Zabbix agent is running and listening. Let's save it. Oops. Now we have to import this template, right? Somehow. How do we do that? We do it in our monitoring role by using again our wonderful collection. So where do we do that? Not in Postgres for sure. We do it here. Create host groups, okay, and then we have to import templates. We have a very nice module for that in our collection called Zabbix template. And we need to be able to specify templates dynamically for every group or every host. Well, first of all, has to have a group. This group exists in all Zabbix installations, and we are going to import from JSON. And let's take it, of course, from variable lookup. We are looking for a file. In files folder, and of course items state present, and let's put all our custom variables in a list, custom template, sorry. In this variable, let's define this variable in our inventory. First of all, save. In groups all, let's say by default it's empty. And where do we assign this? Where do you find? Let's assign it to server 01. Let's go to host vars zabbix-server 01 and specify the list here. My cool template JSON. So this is for the import. Template is imported here. Actually here, import custom templates. Now we need to assign this template to this host. So we put that in the list of templates to be assigned to this host. But we need to specify it here as well. How do we do it? Oh, we don't need to change anything. It already has variable x templates, and these x templates has our additional template already here. Yeah, should work. Let's try to rerun our playbook. My cool template JSON. Template, not templates. Let's rename it. Yeah, template JSON. Should be fine. Let's rerun again. Okay, one more error. Typo. Present. Oh God. I'm sorry. Save. Rerun. Finally, our playbook successfully finished. Let's check our Zabbix. Refresh. And our server 01 has additional templates, my cool template. So we successfully imported this template from JSON file and assign it to this host. Let's take a look at this template. Yeah, just one item, port 10050, health, just for demo purposes. Perfect. Now we have only one task left. If you recall, in part 1, we did cleanup in the cloud. So all the VMs running in the cloud, but not defined in our Ansible inventory, will be deleted when we run our playbook. Now we need to do the same cleanup here. In our inventory, we have only 3 hosts, 3 servers. So this guy that came with default Zabbix installation should be deleted. Let's take care of that. So we already have cleanup role. So let's switch to this role. Cleanup tasks main. You see here we define we delete instances only from cloud. Now let's take care of Zabbix. First of all, we need to check whether Zabbix already is running, up and running, because when we first run this playbook, cleanup role is executed before Zabbix is installed, so it will fail. We need to avoid this situation. So check if Zabbix server is already installed and running. What we use? Again, we will use our perfect collection called Zabbix. So we need these variables. Then there is a special module called API info community Zabbix. What is it? Zabbix API info. And basically it doesn't have any parameters, but we need its output. X Zabbix API info. We need to ignore errors, so if Zabbix doesn't respond, that's okay. That means it's not installed yet. Errors true. And what else? Of course, delegate to. We need to delegate it to our Zabbix host web UI. Oops, extra. And now we have to execute a block to actually delete these extra hosts from Zabbix. So let's name it delete hosts in from Zabbix. Of course, delegate to, again, we are working with Zabbix web UI. Typo. Then variables. Of course, we need these variables again to work with Zabbix modules from Zabbix collection. When we will be executing only Zabbix running, so we register this variable, not failed. And what exactly we want to execute. First task name. First we need to get all the hosts currently configured in Zabbix. The all currently configured hosts in Zabbix. Again, we are using our collection community Zabbix Zabbix host info. Register. With no additional parameters, it gets you all the hosts. That's just simple out. Then what do we do with this variable? First of all, let's assume that no hosts configured at all. So x Zabbix hosts list empty. Now let's compare these lists. Name, create a list of all hosts configured Zabbix. We are going to loop these results of API call Zabbix host info out hosts. And what do we want to do with that? Again, set fact x Zabbix hosts list. Let's add all hosts found in Zabbix to this list. I should remind you that x current servers, we compile this list in part 1. This is actually, they represent all the servers configured in our Ansible inventory. So we just make a difference between all hosts configured in Zabbix and all hosts defined in our inventory. And now we basically ready to clean up. Yeah, we need to create a list to delete. What am I doing? It's not from here. Here we actually Zabbix host list plus item host. We compile list here all the hosts running in Zabbix, and here we are going to create a list to delete. Let's name it this way. And here we should apply a difference between two lists. X Zabbix hosts list difference x current servers. That should give us a difference between these two lists. Those list of hosts to be deleted from Zabbix. And let's actually do the deletion. Delete hosts from Zabbix server. Delegate, of course. Actually, we're already delegating on this module. Loop. We are going through all hosts on this list. X to delete from Zabbix. And what do we do with each member of this list? We do host name, of course, item, and state absent. It should work. Let's try rerunning our playbook. Of course, typo. Okay, playbook successfully finished. Let's check our Zabbix server. Refresh. You see, Zabbix server is gone. It wasn't defined in our Ansible inventory, so it should be deleted from Zabbix. I guess that's it. To summarize what we did, we have only one playbook that deploys virtual machines into our cloud, in this case Akamai, but you can use any cloud you want. Then it configures each machine with software we defined. In our case, this is Zabbix server, 3 components, database, Zabbix server itself, and web UI. And the last part, monitoring as code, we add all those servers to Zabbix server with appropriate templates. Anytime you can change something in your inventory, add more hosts, change templates, add more templates, rerun playbook, and it will adjust your infrastructure to exactly what is defined in your Ansible inventory. You can keep this configuration in your in any actually version control system. I use Git, my favorite one. And yes, you define your configuration, your infrastructure in set of files here in this repository. This way you can add, delete, modify, do whatever you want with this configuration, commit, and you always have an option to roll back to particular commit. You see a history of changes to your infrastructure. I guess that's it. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and talk to you later. Bye bye.